Hi, I'm Davina Shamaya, and I'm recovering from complex post-traumatic stress disorder and narcissistic abuse, just like you. And today I would like to talk about the two main phases of recovery. And the first main phase of recovery is breaking free from addictive substances. And this includes smoking, drinking, pot smoking, any kind of drug besides, of course, necessary, maybe prescription drugs, but even prescription drugs could be an addiction. So, yeah, it is basically, detoxing your body. And yeah, so it's important to know that the reason we become addicted to these substances is, of course, to numb out from our own pain, to avoid our pain. And yeah, and we are really, in a way, trying to get some kind of need met through these addictions. Um, drinking might help you gain some confidence, or, shopping might give you a brief sense of, fulfillment. Um, so it's important to know that these addictions are our way of coping with, you know, um, with the underlying unmet needs, which is really at the core of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's important to go, really, really gently as we, break free from our addictions. For me, it happened quite quickly, one after the other. I first stopped taking ecstasy. I was doing that pretty much every weekend for 3 or 4 years, I think it was. And yeah, I quit that. That was the first thing to go. The second thing I did was quit smoking. That came shortly after. And then a little while later, I also quit drinking. And then a little bit after that, I also quit my lifestyle of going out clubbing going out clubbing all the time, or clubbing at all. Eventually I just stopped. So yeah, it was really God really gave me a huge nudge in this way. Yeah, eventually my body just really was just so out of whack, so unbalanced. I had gone into early menopause at the age of 41, and just found myself absolutely having, like I said, I didn't have to, but I chose to, like it was really a wake up call. Like, I really need to change my lifestyle. So that's when, a lot of these addictions just almost, it came very easily, because at that point, I think I'd reached a bottom and thought, okay, it's, if I'm going to choose life here, I need to make some huge changes. So, I did a 180 at that point, and started to really take care of my body. And I think that's another part of phase one as well. Like, once we start dropping these the substances out of our life, then there's replacing it with healthy things. So maybe healthier foods, and maybe you start doing meditation, and just generally more, kind of cleansing of your life. I mean, it's all really a big detox kind of process, I think, spiritual awakening. So yeah, I mean, I got really clean in terms of what I was eating, and in terms of, like, just my self-care. So after the addictions go, you'll probably naturally find that you want to just care for yourself more, and as a form of self-love. getting enough sleep and eating healthy and exercising in moderation, because even exercise can be an addiction. And I guess those are the other addictions, is kind of the secondary kind of process addictions that can also happen. And these might still linger even after the substance addictions are gone. So yeah, you might be addicted to exercise or shopping or gambling or pornography or, internet or Facebook or any of those kind of things. And again, it's just really important to just, not to like beat yourself up like, oh, I was on Facebook again today and I said I wasn't going to be on Facebook and I spent 2 hours on Facebook or whatever. Because it's really not going to happen. Like, the reason we can't change is because there are unmet needs that are going on and we're just trying to cope our best. And so, of course, we want to set the intention to, do healthier things, of course, and try to replace, those, I don't want to say negative, because they're not really negative. They're just, not the healthiest thing for us. So replacing them with other things, instead of going on Facebook to make the intention to, what is that need fulfilling? Maybe you're just looking for connection. Maybe it's going out for tea with a friend instead, so again, all of this, just hold it with a lot of compassion and a lot of patience. It takes time. And when we start dropping the addictions, the trauma starts coming up. Then, there's nothing holding it down anymore, so those feelings start rising up to the surface and start, so that can be very difficult to start to manage. So, and a lot of people, relapse because of that, because feelings are arising and it's too difficult. And so they just go back to, the drugs or the alcohol or whatever it is. So, yeah, and that's okay too, as long as we, continue to just keep making those steps in a healthy and towards a healthier way of living. And so to have also the proper supports in your life when you're doing those things too, so that so you have things that are there to kind of hold you as you're, whether that's a therapist or going to a meditation group or whatever it is to help you through it. The second phase is becoming emotionally sober. And of course, the opposite of that is our codependence tendencies, which is, which came from the belief that we had to, Pete Walker says it best, we had to forfeit our needs in order to be in a relationship or any situation, we thought, because that's what we were conditioned as a child, that, okay, so in order to be in this family, I have to, forget about my needs, suppress and repress my feelings. And so that became a very kind of basic or base kind of belief that we started to live our life by. And so whenever we went into a relationship, or I'll speak for myself anyway, I just kind of went along with how things were. I never thought, oh, I can set boundaries, or I have needs in this situation and I can let this go if it's not working. And, didn't have any of that kind of thought process at all. It was just, I thought that other people were going to meet my needs. I thought, well, he says he loves me, and so of course he's going to do what I want him to do. Or, she's my friend, so of course if I ask her to, be a little bit more empathetic with me, that she's going to want to do that, because, we're friends, so it can be really shocking at first when we realize that, when we sometimes set boundaries, people don't want to, may not want to follow those boundaries, may ignore them, or just go like, no, well, this is just the way I am. I got that response quite a bit, just kind of, well, remember a friend who used to do like 90% of the talking when I was with her. And, I started saying, I'd really like to, and she was always moving around. So she would be moving and talking. And yeah, so I just said, I really need, a more balanced, like right now I'm in a real kind of fragile, kind of delicate place. I need to be able to sit down and know that you're with me and you're listening to me. And she was just like, well, this is the way I am. I like to be active. And then that relationship just faded out because that was not what I was needing. And so it's also owning those needs, owning those boundaries. And becoming emotionally sober takes time. It takes a long time. And I'm feeling emotionally sober right now, but I'm so scared when I get back into work situation that, I'm going to be giving up, giving up a need in order to work, in order to hold on to that job. So it's untwisting those kind of beliefs, but it also takes a lot of grief work, feeling the pain of that, like having someone that you thought loved you and they're not, they don't want to, or they're not capable of giving you what you need. And it's a really painful truth and reality to wake up to. So it definitely requires sitting with pain over and over and over again and crying over and over and over again, many, many times. At least in my experience, I mean, I've been crying for 4.5 years, like often, like sometimes every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes, maybe not for a few days I don't cry, but it's, weekly, always crying. And so by becoming emotionally sober, we become actors in our life rather than reactors. Because when we're in the reactivity, when we don't have any boundaries, then we're just getting angry at people. Like we're just getting frustrated and, or feeling really disappointed. Oh, he didn't do that. And I hate when he does that. And man, if only she would be more like this. And we're basically trying to control people in our minds. We're trying to, like, he should be like that and she should be doing this and they shouldn't be acting like that. And it's a painful place to be. That's just in the suffering, right? That's in the mental suffering and trying to control things rather than saying, these are my boundaries. And if you're not willing or able to respect those boundaries, then I will say sayonara, bye-bye, right? When we get to that point, then we have our true power back. As long as we are staying in any kind of situation where we're not able to set boundaries, or, we don't feel free to like speak up or speak our need or have that need really, responded to and respected, then we're just living in, again, like just being a reactor. And that leads to a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, really. There's just, and pain as well, frustration and anger and a lot of confusion too in the beginning, because like, why isn't this person changing? And the truth is, a lot of people, when we realize, oh, this is just not a good fit, it's not like they're wrong, it's not like we're wrong, there's no one to blame, it's just this is not a match. When we come to that place, that kind of blameless kind of place. And then we find that, we have a sense of just more of a sense of groundedness and a sense of peace and a sense of, more of a sense of like confidence in the world, because we have reached that place of just really inner strength where we're, we're not willing to have our boundaries stepped on anymore. And we're saying, I'm worthy. I have a right to have my needs met in this world. I belong here. And, it's a process. Codependency is very deeply conditioned, and it just takes a lot of time to overcome that. And again, most of these things are going to be lifelong processes. So when we see it that way, we can breathe and go, okay, because I always find that there's often an umbrella over everything, and like, I have to do it perfect, and I have to be perfect, and I have to get it right. And that can just lead to so much pressure when we're just like, oh, I'm a humble learner in this life, and I'm pretty messed up, and I'm just trying one day at a time to be a little bit healthier, so yeah, just give yourself a hug and say, you're doing great. Look how far you've come. So those are what I see as the two main kind of phases of recovery. And wherever you are on your journey today, I am wishing you many blessings many blessings for your healing and awakening. And I am Davina, and you can find me at Boldness Blooming. Thank you for watching.